Alright, we're back. Let me just back up. 66, how many cells are there? 2. 67, name them a higher self and lower self. 68, what people represent the higher self? Answer, the angels who protect the holy city of Mecca. 69, what people represent the lower self? Answer, those who were cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teachings. 70, what is the higher self? Alright. Answer, the higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. 71, can the higher self pass away? Answer, no. 72, why? Because it is Allah in man. 73, what does the lower self breed? Answer, hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. Alright, 74, what did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him? Answer, where are you going, Satan? Question, 75. What was the answer the higher self gave to the lower self? Answer, I am going to and fro the earth, seeking whom I may devour. 76. Has he finished his task of devouring? Answer, yes. 77. When was his time declared out? Answer, when he nailed Jesus to the cross. 78. What are the last words Jesus uttered? Answer, it is finished. Alright. 79. What did he have reference to? Answer, he had reference to the end of Satan. 80. Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him? Answer, yes. 81. What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Answer, Prophet Muhammad the Conqueror. 82. Was Satan to be bound then? Answer, Satan was bound in part. 83. When was the head of Satan taken off? 43. Byzantine. 84. By whom? Muhammad. 85. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopia. 86. What is meant by the word Negro? Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa by the Moors because it contains black water. 87. What is meant by the word black? Black, according to science, means death. 88. What does the word colored mean? Answer, colored means anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. 89. What does Ethiopia mean? Ethiopia means something divided or demarcation line. 90. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian? Answer, no. 91. Why? Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah. 92. What title does Satan give himself? Answer, God. 93. Will you define the word white? Answer, white means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. 94. To whom do we refer to at times as being the great God? Answer, Allah. 95. Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah? Answer, no, he is a shadow of our lower selves and will pass away. 96. Who made the devil? Answer, Elohim. 97. Who is Elohim? Answer, Elohim is the 7 creative spirits that created everything that ever was, is, and evermore to be. 98. What is Elohim sometimes called? Answer, the 7 eyes of Allah. 99. How many days are in a circle? Answer, 7 days. 100. How many days are in creation? Answer, 7 days. 101. According to science, how many days are in a year? Answer, 7 days. Alright. Let me just pause right quick. I had to get this on the record. So backing up to question 93, will you define the word white? White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land, right? So being the ills and bays of the land here in Northwest Amexem, i.e. the rulers, right? The lawgivers and the law enforcers, we overstand as Moors, and through our scholarship that free white persons is the status that is associated with Moors, not because we're talking about a color, but because we're talking about a legal status, right? Free white persons, right? In Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Yep. Page 792 for you guys who want to follow along. And I'm just going to read the main part right here. It includes all European Jews more or less intermixed with peoples of Celtic, Scandinavian, Teutonic, Iberian, Latin, Greek, and Slavic descent. It includes Magyars, Lapps, and Finns, and the Basque and Albanians. It includes the mixed Latin, Celtic, Iberian, and Moorish inhabitants of Spain and Portugal. All right. The mixed Greek, Latin, Phoenician, and North African inhabitants of Sicily, and the mixed Slav and Tatar inhabitants of South Russia. It does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, and Mongolian peoples who inhabit Persia. A Syrian of Asiatic birth and descent will not be entitled to become a naturalized citizen of the United States as being a free white person. All right? So, when we're talking about free white persons, realize we're not talking about the color of the skin complexion of the individual. We're talking about their natural descent or their national descent, bloodline, right? The heirship of Moors is that of Moabites, because the ancient name for Moors are Moabites. So if the Moabite Empire, existed in these lands, and they had government that, rides on up into today, in today's times, we can, reattach ourselves to that and reactivate that through the Moorish Science Symbol of America and through the, Moorish Divine and National Movement of the world. When we understand these lessons and these keys that the Prophet gave us in the one-on-ones, we will really be able to start to see some remedy here, right? So, moving on, I have to read the additional laws for Moorish Americans, right? Act 1, Grand Sheiks and Governors. Keep in mind, just think government when you hear this. Think government, and where is the civic side or the national side of the Moorish Divine and National Movement? Where is it activated? Who is functioning under both auspices, right? So Act 1, Grand Sheiks and Governors and heads of all temples, all business, each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali. Before acting upon any members, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause support of any groups of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., or etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheik. Act 2, all members are to attend their add-up meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, he or she shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If a member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is a lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. All right? Keep in mind, if you talk about an American flag, you either talk about this or this. This is a trading banner of amity and commerce. This is not the American flag. It's a trading banner, for the record. All right, moving on. Act 5, all members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire. And let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865, during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men must now proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel to all uplifting acts of the Moorish Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah. Islam, let me just look something up right there for you. All right, so as part 2 of the Consular Court Restoration Sunday school class, I'm going to give you guys the questions for Lot 2 out of the, the juror questionnaire. All right, and for all those who want to follow along, you can visit FezProvincRegency.org and go to the nationality page. Matter of fact, hold on, let me walk you guys along. So we're back. So continuing the rest of the class and trying to wrap up or solidify some things for Consular Court Restoration, right? This lot 2 questions. All right, now keep in mind these are the questions. If you want to follow along, you can visit us at FezProvincRegency.org, the Consular Court Restoration page. If you scroll down near the bottom, there's a little button that says download. It's a little anchor and stuff, and you can click to get your copy there and follow along with us. So questions for lot 2, all right, 10 through 18. Question number 10, and these are questions that I'm posing and putting on the record so you guys can, if you haven't downloaded it already, as we go through these, we'll get through all the questions. But these are for you guys to research and look up the answers for yourself, right? This is the learned lesson that you have to teach yourself, all right? And keep in mind, guys, it's an open book test, so you can't cheat by asking questions to the people who are going to be grading the questionnaire. Like, come on now. Who in the world, and I just asked this for the record, ever in life when they were taking a test at school, in the middle of the test, got up out their seat and went to the professor, the teacher, and asked them for the answers during the test? Like, it don't make no sense. It really don't. It don't make no sense, does it? Talking to the dog here. Anyway, so number 10, who is Charles Mosley Bay, often referred to as C.M. Bay? It's number 10. It's the question. Who is it? Number 11, what did C.M. Bay do in his 1947 copyrighted works with regard to and relationship to Consular Court? All right, and that's a very important question right here. We talking about Consular Court, restoration. You cannot really understand what's going on or the importance of this without understanding and looking at C.M. Bay's work, right? 12, what is the practice of law? What is the practice of law, right? 13, what is the difference between enforcing law and that of practicing law? It's number 13. Number 14, in law, what is, quote, in personam jurisdiction, end quote. All right, that's the question. What is in personam jurisdiction in law? 15, in law, what is subject matter jurisdiction? All right. 16, what is territorial jurisdiction? All right. 17, what are known as the 7 elements of jurisdiction? All right. Number 18, what is the dominion of ancient Africa? All right. So those are the questions, number 10 through 18 for lot number 2. If you need some hints, then I would say go check out Sister Delilah's Consular Court Restoration demonstration, the first one, where she gives some of the answers here for you guys, who a little lazy-minded or, not as motivated to, figure it out for whatever reason. And, just so you guys know, so you're not, all pressed and all in a huffy puff about the situation. If you don't make it in the first round, you know, for the jurors and everything, it's all right. We'll have other classes. But, you know, depending on how you guys do and demonstrate, that'll determine the size of the first class. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna hold things up for people who are acting slow. We're gonna keep it moving for those who, you know, are actually doing their work and doing their part to you know, become active. We're gonna be getting things together for you guys to be able to demonstrate a little bit easier. And hopefully you guys will be supporting and actually doing stuff, and you know, that'll make that whole process go a lot quicker. But other than that, I just had one last thing I wanted to demonstrate and put on the record. So hold on, Islam. So we're back. Just some quick stuff here that I wanted to get onto the record. So this is coming out of Deuteronomy 29, right? King James Version. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moses, verse 2, and Moses called unto all Israel and said unto them, Yea, have ye seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt unto Pharaoh, and unto all his servants, and unto all his land? 3, the great temptations which thine eyes have seen, the signs and those great miracles. 4, verse 4, Yet the Lord hath not given you a heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. Verse 5, And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes are not waxed old upon you, and thy shoe is not waxed old upon thy foot. 6, Ye have not eaten bread, neither have ye drunk wine or strong drink, that ye might know that I am the Lord your God. 7, And when ye came unto this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out against us unto battle, and we smote them. 8, And we took their land and gave it for an inheritance unto the Reubenites and the Gadites, and to the half tribe of Manasseh. Keep therefore the words of this covenant, and do them, that ye may prosper in all that ye do. Yea, stand this day all of you before the Lord your God, your captains of your tribes, your elders, and your officers with all the men of Israel. Verse 11, Your little ones, your wives, and thy stranger that is in thy camp, from the hewer of thy wood unto the drawer of thy water, that thou shouldest enter into covenant with the Lord thy God, and into his oath, which the Lord thy God maketh with thee this day, that he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God, as he hath said unto thee, and as he hath sworn unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. Verse 14, Neither with you only do I make this covenant, neither with you do I only make this covenant and this oath, but with him that standeth here with us this day before the Lord our God, and also him that is not here with us this day. 16, For ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Egypt, and how he came through the nations which ye passed by. And ye have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were among them. Lest there should be among you man or woman or family or tribe, whose heart turneth away this day from the Lord our God, to go and serve the gods of these nations. Lest there should be among you a root that beareth gall and woodworm, or wormwood, pardon me. Verse 19, And it come to pass, when he heareth the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have peace, though I walk in the imagination of mine heart, to aid drunkenness, to thirst. Verse 20, The Lord will not spare him. Verse 20, The Lord will not spare him, but then the anger of the Lord and his jealousy shall smoke against that man, and all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him. And the Lord shall blot out his name from under heaven. And the Lord shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of that covenant are written in this book of the law, so that the generation to come of your children that shall rise up after you, and the stranger that shall come from a far land, shall say, when they see the plagues of that land and the sicknesses which the Lord hath laid upon it, 23, and that the whole land thereof is brimstone and salt and burning, that it is not sown, nor beareth, nor any grass groweth therein, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zebulun, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. 24, even all nations shall say, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger? Then men shall say, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord God of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. For they went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against this land to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And the Lord rooted them out of their land in anger and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. 29, the secret things belong unto the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Right? So when we back up to, what is this? This verse here, where it talks about the other tribes, right? Verse 8. At verse 8, it's talking about the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, right? This is who the quote-unquote Israelites were in covenant with, right? So when we talk about the Reubenites, we understand that metaphysically, Israel just represents Is, Ra, and El, Isis, Ra, and El, or anciently Asaru, right? Or Asaru. So, you can read the Holy Bible, Old Testament, Genesis chapter 49. Matter of fact, for you guys on the record, I'm reading out of First World Order. And this is by the good brother Alim Bey. So, if you haven't already, get you a copy. It's well worth every dime. I can definitely co-sign on that one. Number 1, Reuben, behold a son. Right? In parentheses, it says Shu, Minat, Aquarius, water bearer, unstable as water. He symbolizes discerned faith, jasper, all colors, powerful healer, main impact on physical. Oh, and I'm on page 336, by the way. Main impact on physical body. It works directly on the animal soul to heighten and intensify primal awareness. It is both a divinatory and a karmic stone. It strengthens the liver, gallbladder, and bladder. It works with the chakras and attitudes according to the colors of the stone. The red jasper is often worn for protection, right? So that's the Reubenites. Then he talks about the Gadites, right? Gad means good fortune. Amen, Aries, the ram, the lamb. A troop shall overcome him. In the Holy Bible, Old Testament, Deuteronomy 33, chapter 33, verse 20 through 21. The crown of the head, and he came with the heads of the people. He symbolizes the faculty of power. Be'yero increases psychic awareness, enhance psychic vision, quickens the mind, and heightens human potential by expanding the mind to grasp the law of nature. Chakras, first, third eye, crown, or molar, right? And then let me just back up and say this. The 12 tribes of Israel are an allegorical story about man, all right, and the science of man, all right. If you want to say that it's a group of people, let me qualify it for you, all right. Each one of these signs, right, each one of these 12 tribes is associated with one of the 12 constellations in cosmology and astrology of any society on any part of the planet. There's only 12 constellations, maybe 13 if you're counting the moon, if you're counting them by the moons, right? If you really want to get into the science, and we're going to talk about that too. So 12 months out the year, generally, when you talk about the Gregorian calendar, just basic calendars, 13 if you count the moons, right? Number 1, Judah. Number 2, Reuben. Number 3, Gad. Number 4, Asir. Number 5, Nephilim. 6, Manasseh. 7, Simeon. 8, Levi. 9, Ishkar. 10, Zebulun. 11, Joseph. 12, Benjamin. 13, Dinah. Right? And right quick, let me just try to find it for you. Reuben is associated with Aquarius. Simeon and Levi are associated with Gemini, the twins. Judah is associated with Leo, the lion. Zebulun is associated with Cancer, the crab, or the beetle. Ishkar, bring reward, is associated with Taurus, the bull. Dan, the judge, is associated with Scorpio, or the scorpion. Gad, associated with Amen, or Aries, the ram, or the lamb. Asher, which means pillar of happiness, associated with Ma'at, as well as Libra, all right, the scales. Number 10, Naphtali, Mendes, or Capricorn, the goat. Number 11, Joseph, Yah shall increase. Geb, Sagittarius, the archer. Benjamin, son of the right hand. Sekbek, Pisces, the fishes. Right? And just to finish out this little definition, it says Benjamin, son of the right hand, Sekbek, Pisces, the fishes, raven as a wolf. He symbolizes the faculty of active faith, amethyst, right? And the 13th, Dana, judged, Aset, Virgo, the virgin, right? Look at the Holy Bible, Old Testament, Genesis 34, verses 1 through 3. The damsel, she is the feminine quality of the judgment faculty in man called intuition, right? Now, furthermore, Brother Aline breaks it down so wonderfully and scholarly. He gives some references here, and I'm going to read them with the references, all right? So Dan is missing from the list according to the Holy Bible, or the Holy Old Testament, Holy Bible Old Testament, Deuteronomy, repetition of the law, chapter 33, verses 22. Dan is a lion's whelp, quote. This is the exact same description of Judah in the Holy Bible Old Testament, Genesis, beginning lineage, chapter 49, verse 9, quote, Judah is a lion's whelp, end quote. Therefore, the real reason for Dan being missing is that Dan and Judah are one. This is also the reason why Manasseh, the son of Joseph, has to be replaced by Dan in the Holy Bible Old, Holy Bible New Testament, Revelation, which means to reveal, chapter 7, verse 6. Dana, or Diana, which means judged, is never mentioned at all. However, her meaning just happens to be the past tense of Dan, which means judge. Dana is the feminine quality of the judgment faculty in man called intuition, and Dan symbolizes the faculty of judgment in man in its earliest expression before it is lifted to the spiritual plane. All right. So when you're talking about the 12 tribes of Israel and you really start breaking down the allegory of the different tribes, what you're supposed to be able to do is follow, through Islamism, through science and mathematics, the metaphysical raising, the physical raising or metaphysical raising of the Kundalini energy within man, from his, the tailbone, the coccyx of his spine, all the way up to the crown chakra. All right. And the stories, the allegories that you're getting are basically the lessons on how to conquer those chakras, or how to break through that level of mental enslavement, so to speak, that dwells within, that man has to deal with within his man when he's talking about his higher self and his lower self. All right? Because if you would look for God, you must look for within. If you would look for the devil, you must look within. All right? Essentially, there's no competition out here that doesn't begin and end with you internally first. And then that conflict or resolution of that conflict is expressed outside of yourself in the physical, it's made, it's made manifest. It's made plain on the plane of manifest, on the soul plane first, and then on the physical plane. All right. But without getting too deep into the connotations and denotations of metaphysics, I just really wanted to drop that little tidbit on you guys for the next class, so we'll have something to talk about next time. All right. So in closing, I just want to just reiterate to you guys that we are in the process of restoring. Process meaning that it's not completed, but in the process of restoring consular court jurisdiction throughout the land. All right. To do that, we need competent jurors. We need consulars, not counselors, but consulars, to be able to give counsel to those in need, right? But you got to be competent. You can't just be no Joe Blow off the street. You can't just be foolish and think that you're gonna reap some type of reward from anything just because you say that you're willing to step up. Like, you got to demonstrate your competence. And at the end of the day, whatever position and title that you get, you got to live up to it. You got to maintain it. All right. This is the time for fly-by-nights. The time for the snake oil salesman is coming to a close. All right. And all of you dirty Moors who continue to try to push paperwork and sell it at unexorbitant amounts of finance, charging people for stuff that you did not create, that you did not have anything to do with, that you did not test and try for yourself, on yourself first, to see whether or not it worked. You non-scholarly, non-scientific Moors out there, your days are numbered. Let me just let you know that from me to you. Your days are numbered. For all those who want to be renegades and run around doing stuff half-cocked, claiming that you're a part of a national government that you know nothing about, your days are numbered. All right? For all those who claim to be a part of temples or to be leadership in temples, and they are not carrying out the prophet's laws, not carrying out his directives, as they know they should be carried out to any degree, your days are numbered. All right? That's personally from me to you. You might not even see me, but just know that your days are numbered. All right? The time has come for us to take our places amongst the affairs of men, Islam, men and women. To do that, we all have got to be on one accord. We've all got to be nationalized. We've all got to have our ducks in a row, our paperwork together. All right? And I'm just going to leave it at that. All right? If you want more information, if you feel like, something about this didn't make sense to you, feel free to send us an email. All right? If you are filling out the juror questionnaire, and again, if you have questions pertaining to the questions within the questionnaire, I'm going to tell you to go study and look it up for yourself, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. All right? If you are asking questions and you have not completed your juror questionnaire, I'm going to direct you to go to the website, download the questionnaire, and complete the questionnaire. All right? That's just from me to you. All right? So please, take it into consideration, study, and make stuff easy on yourself by doing the work up front. Don't be lazy. All right? Because y'all playing too much. I keep saying this. Y'all play way entirely too much. All right? And the emotional games, emotional ploys, that's not going to work over here. If you really wanted to do something, you would have done it by now. If you have all the information, use it. You don't have to come and get our blessing, so to speak, to do what you know that you already should be doing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to ask permission from anybody. Just do right. All right? Do what you know you're supposed to be doing. Now, if there's a problem, somebody will let you know. Surely. But, keep in mind the government is been established, is functioning. We have some meetings coming up pretty soon here, but to determine some other things on the side. But if you have ideas for legislation, draft them and send them for consideration. All right, and they, might turn into law one day. If you're unfamiliar with how Congress works, start looking at civics, and basic civic lessons as far as, the difference between the House and the Senate and how the Congress is made up together. If you don't understand how courts work or tribunals work, start looking at the civics, looking at Article 3 of the Constitution as a hint, to see how courts, and tribunals are supposed to be working. All right. Same thing with the executive branch. Look at it. Look at these things. Examine them. Don't just, peruse or look over them and not try to gain something from what you're looking at. Do the research. Be scholarly. All right. All right. So with that, I'm off my soapbox for the day. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse, and we're gonna close with the Moorish American prayer. All right, and we'll just say our goodbyes from there. So, facing the east, 5 on the left, 2 on the right, feet at a 45-degree angle. Allah, Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Jew Ali. Amen. Islam wars. So, next time, I'll just be here next time whenever you see me. I'm not even gonna pump fake like that. So, yeah, man. See you guys. Peace and love. Islam.